Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Holika Holika Holi Pop Water Tints. I picked these up for my full face of Holika Holika because I was interested in the colours. They come in the traditional red, orange and pink, and I wanted to know if they were any different to any of the other water tints available on the market. They're not. But they were extremely inexpensive. I believe I bought mine for about $2.50 US off Rose Shop plus shipping, but because they are super lightweight and really little, the shipping probably didn't cost that much. I did buy it with a bunch of other stuff, so I don't know for sure, but I would say that it was pretty inexpensive. The packaging is really quite cute. It has the Holi Pop logo on the top, and then the bottom is clear with like little seeds, or I mean they could be polka dots, but because they're kind of longer I look at them like little seeds, especially in the watermelon shade because it just looks like a watermelon. The tints have a straight doe foot applicator which picks up the tint really easily and allows you to spread it on your lips evenly. So there are three colours in this range: the classic red, orange and pink, which is like the staple of all KBD lip tints. It's really hard to tell the difference between shade number 1 and 3. They pretty much look identical in the bottles, which is actually really annoying. Shade number 1 is Tomato, and it is the classic KBD red shade. I don't particularly like the smell of this one. It's quite bitter, but I guess what do tomatoes smell like normally? So this is how Tomato looks on my skin tone. I don't mind this shade. With these formulas, they are really sheer in comparison to a lot of other water tints. So if you don't want a really brightly pigmented colour, I would definitely recommend going for these water tints in particular. They are quite easy to apply, and I feel like if I make mistakes, it's nice and easy to correct them. However, because they do have that thin watery texture, they do start to feather out into the sides of my lip lines, which isn't super great for me. But they do dry down quickly and become transfer proof. I think they're pretty kiss proof. It's pretty good. So the colour is still on my lips. There's a little bit of pink on my hand, but like it's really pretty unnoticeable. So this is shade number 2, which is Grapefruit. This is just the standard K-Beauty classic orange shade that I absolutely hate. So this is what it would look like on me if I wore it as a gradient lip, which I very rarely do because I feel like they just don't look good on my lips, and that's okay. But I'm forever getting told that a lip tint is supposed to be used as a gradient lip, and that's just simply not true. You can use it however you'd like to, but this is for the people who like to see a gradient lip. This is what it looks like. These tints in particular are actually kind of good for gradients because they are so like sheer. It's much easier to do a gradient that looks nice because it is easier to build it up in the center rather than to try and sheer it out around the edges with a more pigmented lip tint. So if you are specifically looking for a gradient, I would definitely recommend these ones. And I'll show you guys what this looks like as a full lip colour too. So this is what the full colour looks like on me. I don't love this one. I think that it's actually not a bad orange because it's a little bit more of a sort of like a warmer tone. Like it definitely is grapefruit rather than just straight orange. I really dislike those like bright yellow oranges. Those are just like the worst on me. It's not an awful colour, but it's not one that I would choose to wear over the other two, which are the red and the pink. I definitely prefer the red and pink over this one. It's not super difficult to remove either, which is actually kind of a good thing, especially when I'm swatching all of them. The last shade is number 3, which is called Watermelon. And again, this is just the classic KBD pink colour. This one smells quite nice. It is like their classic like watermelon candy flavour, like not real watermelon, but like, yeah, candy. This is definitely my favourite colour out of the 3. I think that for me it is the most flattering. It's just a nice like blue toned pink. It's like a nice mid-tone. There's nothing about it that is spectacularly different to any other KBD water tint. I think that's the problem. There's such an oversaturation of water tints in the KBD world that they all really do just start to look and feel the same, especially when they're always a red and orange and pink. It really makes it difficult to actually differentiate between all of the brands. But like I said before, these ones are a little bit sheerer than the tints usually are. I do find that this makes them a little bit patchy, and they do of course accentuate my lip wrinkles, so if you have really dry lips, these are probably not the lip tints for you. But then again, if you have dry lips, I probably wouldn't recommend watery tints at all. But this is definitely my favourite colour out of the range. I think that it looks really nice, and this is one that I would get the most wear out of. So if we get a little bit closer, you can kind of see the patchiness, so especially in the inner part of my lip, it doesn't really stick as well, and then also you can really see the lip wrinkles. And I'm sorry for the lighting, it's cloudy. there's not really much I can do about it. So that is watermelon up close. Okay, so my lipstick has been on for 7 hours now. It is looking a little bit worse for wear, but it is still like hanging on. In the 7 hours, I've only had like 2 coffees and a banana, I think. Like, yeah, I've been at work, so. And I'll show you a close-up. No mean comments about my teeth. Thank you. So this is what my lips look like at the moment. You can see the darker patches are actually just dead skin that the tint has clung to. So like that little patch there, super gross. But you can see like underneath where like there isn't too much tint there. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Overall, it doesn't actually look that bad, and my lips still look pink, but they do look quite like flaky because obviously the tint is clinging to the dead skin. If the dead skin wasn't there, then the tint wouldn't cling to it that much, and when I've had like better prepared lips in the past, the tint hasn't lasted that long, and if I eat or drink anything, it will come off. It'll leave like a little bit of a stain, especially around the outer part where my lips don't actually touch the food, but yeah, it will come off. They are not made of like super glue. They are gonna be eaten off, especially if you eat like oily foods. Like, you just have to use your logic. But otherwise the longevity is fine. I would just reapply it throughout the day, that's all. So unsurprisingly, these water tints look, feel and are the same colours as pretty much most of the other water tints on the market at the moment. I think for me the difference for these ones in comparison to most other ones is that they are a little bit more sheer. They are kind of buildable, but not to the extent in pigmentation that a lot of other water tints are, and the packaging is just a little bit different, you know. Most of them come in this kind of shaped container, but this one has cute little like, it looks like seeds to me, like rather than polka dots. I think that is really cute. Would I recommend these over other water tints? No, not personally. I think that these water tints in particular are really similar to pretty much every other water tint. So it depends on what sort of applicator you like, what sort of packaging you like, and the colours are pretty much bang on dupes for most of the other watercolour tints. So there's not that much difference in that aspect. For reference, because I get asked this so much, my favourite water tints are the Face Shop water tints. I have the Disney edition ones, which have 3 water tints and then 3 of like the milky formula tints, and those are my favourites for pigmentation, packaging as well as longevity. I found that these ones, the longevity wasn't awful, but it wasn't very good. So like, it didn't come off straight away, or like it didn't wear off within an hour like my current tint is, which is the Apure Rilikuma tint. These wear off within like an hour. It's ridiculous. But they weren't super good, and they definitely don't beat the Face Shop ones in terms of longevity. So those are my thoughts on the Holika Holika Holi Pop Water Tints. I think that they are really cute, but they are much like almost every other water tint on the market at the moment. I know that kind of sounds like disappointing, but you know, if you already have water tints that are those colours, you probably don't need to buy these because they'll be exactly the same. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.